All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time, I am doing Eagle Eye Transfer Rumour Show, where I talk about transfer rumours and just rumours in general to do with Arsenal Football Club. And wow, I came back from work and I was thinking to myself, all right, I'm going to talk about a Carrasco story, which I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about someone literally just tagged me to another story that I hadn't even seen, truth be told. Shout out to Arsenal fan on Twitter. You literally just tagged me to that. I'm going to talk about that story as well. I'm going to talk about just other stories floating about generally. Listen, I am a transfer fiend. Literally every single day. Every single day, I am looking for Arsenal transfer news. Because quite frankly, I've been like that for years. For years. When I say for years, I used to be on the BBC website checking that had their little kind of column section for transfer stories. Obviously, there's no paper. People don't really read papers anymore, so I think they've actually stopped doing that now. But I used to be on that website every single day for every single job I had. It was so bad. And I still haven't really changed. It's just I'm a little bit more productive work-wise than I used to be. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about the story. Steve Bould. I feel for him in a way. I do. I feel sorry for him. But all the things that we'd kind of suspected over the years about Steve Bould, the fact that he only puts cones out, that he only deals with equipment and this, that, and the other, apparently aren't too far from the truth. There are rumours, strong rumours, well-placed sources within the club that are leaking the fact that Emery is planning a summer reshuffle of the coaches. Funnily enough, something I mentioned in a watch-along about a week ago. I honestly did. I suggested that would it be too outrageous that Arsenal look to potentially mix up their coaches because I don't know about Steve Bould. I think I actually said that. And so it seems. It looks as though Steve Bould is being ushered out, and to replace him, because I always wondered what Arsenal legend would they get. You see that Dennis is looking for a job these days. He's desperately looking to find something of a similar sort of level to what he had at Ajax. The problem with Dennis is that he doesn't fly. And let's be real, we need someone to fly. But no, it looks as though Emery is very impressed with Freddie Ljungberg's work. He, of course, is an under-21 and under-23 coach. He took over both teams when he came back to Arsenal in 2018 as a coach. Previously, he'd worked under the previous academy coach, Jonker, in 2015, before leaving to try his hand at senior coaching. And fair play to Freddie. I mean, if you really look at, I heard back in the day that Freddie was supposed to be hot shit when it came to coaching. Him and supposedly Per Mertesacker are supposed to properly know their stuff when it comes to coaching and development and these kids. And obviously, you fast forward to now, Per is the coach for the I think he's like the head of youth development. And then you've got Freddie here, who's not only running two teams, but actually is being earmarked for Steve Bould's role. And truth be told, I'm all for it. You see what Freddie's doing, man. And don't get it twisted, some of the work started long before Freddie. But even most recently, when you see people of the likes of Saka coming through, Amiocci doing his thing, these kids are doing well. And I remember it was maybe 2-3 years ago that a lot of us were a bit worried, like, where is that academy gone? Like, we're not reproducing kids anymore. But no, it seems like we're doing something and we're just tweaking stuff in the background, and I like that. Because don't get me wrong, I think investment is needed. But if we are going to start relying on these kids and start relying more on the assets we have, we need to get the best out of our coaching staff, out of our scouting staff, out of everybody in the back, generally playing in the background. And I think anything we can do to help that, I'm all for. So 43-year-old Freddie Ljungberg, apparently trending right now on Twitter, by the way. So these rumors are pretty strong. Supposedly he's being earmarked for Steve Bould's role. And if that's the case, so be it. If that's the case, so be it. With Steve, it's never quite worked out. I remember personally when he came on board, I was pretty excited, particularly when he stepped in for Pat Rice's role. I thought, finally, bringing in a defender makes a lot of sense. This is a good move. We've always had an issue with defending. And actually, not only has it not improved, it's progressively got worse, our defending. I'm not putting all of that on Steve. Ultimately, it's these damn players need to do what they need to do. But just putting in someone fresh in there, someone with fresh ideas, a modern way of thinking, someone who has a modern teaching, do it. I'm all for it. And I know someone I respect immensely in Kenny Ken. Shout out to Kenny Ken if he's listening. I know has a he has a big fear about Arsenal, former Arsenal players, Arsenal legends coming into the setup, because if they ever do get a top job, or even if they're in a coaching role, firing them becomes harder because of who they are. And then you're back in the, and I'm going to mention his name, you're back in the Arsene Wenger kind of space, if you like, and it becomes more difficult to terminate a legend. And I get that thinking. I get that logic. And that's why I like Kenny Ken, because he makes you think about something from a different perspective that you kind of agree with, and you can see the logic to the thinking. All I will say is, for me, I'm okay with coaches. I think some of these players need to, particularly winners with a winning mentality. And with Freddie, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen any under 23, under 21 games. My man, it don't matter if it's raining, if it's shining, if it's snowing, he's out there instructing. He's always on the move, always barking at the players. Even after the game, and a couple of articles I read just now made a big deal out of this. It was raining during their last game, which the kids won 3-0 against the Leicester under 23s. And even after the game, my man was still almost in the way, you know, the way Pep was talking to Sterling after they had just won 6-0. And my man was still stood there talking to Sterling, telling him the sort of things that he could have done. But this is what real coaches do, man. Not playing with their zip. This is what real coaches do. So for me, I must admit, I read that story and I was excited. You know, I feel for Bouldy. I always liked him as a player, and I thought he was going to do wonders as a coach. It didn't quite happen. Quite honestly, I thought Tony Adams was going to be a brilliant coach. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Who knows? Maybe he'll turn out to be a brilliant head coach and I'll have egg on my face. But for me, it hasn't worked at Arsenal. Power to him. I hope he does well in whatever he does. Now, moving on. Yannick Carrasco is the second story. And there ain't no other way of saying it. My man is begging for someone to rescue him from his nightmare at the Chinese club. This guy's an idiot. I ain't going to lie to you, bro. You're 20, I think he was 24 years old at the time. 25, 24 maybe. And then he just thought, you had money dangled at him. Probably the agent advised him incorrectly because the agent wanted to be paid. Let's be real. And he moved to China, playing in some dead league. And now he's begging for anyone to rescue him. Obviously, Arsenal were closest to signing him in January. We were looking for a winger and somehow ended up with Denis Suarez because Arsenal. And And you'd think, on hindsight, surely Carrasco on loan would have been the better move. But supposedly we did want Carrasco. But then he was essentially, my brain's gone. He was told by the owner that they needed him to stay. So he stayed with the promise that in the summer, if there was any offers, they would let him go. I did highly rate him when he was at Atletico Madrid. I have to admit, I was a big fan of Carrasco when he was at Atletico Madrid, and I never thought he would leave Atletico Madrid. My worry with him, and it is a worry, and it is a valid worry, is he showed so much immaturity, I guess, by taking such a move at such a stage of his career. You do worry a little bit about the attitude. You also do quite honestly worry about if the quality is still there, because players can regress. See Alexis Sanchez. It does happen. And especially, I mean, all right, Alexis was still in the Premier League, but he's gone to such a terrible league. Hasn't exactly killed it over there either. And he's trying desperately to holler at Arsenal and beg them to come back in to go and get him. I'll be honest, I don't really particularly rate Ryan Fraser, but at least Ryan Fraser has done it in the Premier League, and he'd be a safer bet than Yannick Carrasco. I'm sorry. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, I'd have been bang on it. But now, especially hearing what VJ and Raul just came out with, which if you haven't had an opportunity, a 17-minute video dropped on Arsenal.com. Shout out to Tom from Laguna Talk. He was one that actually let me know. And basically in the conversation, it was the same old, we've got to spend the money that we make and this, that, and the other and be efficient. But that was the theme of what I watched. Efficiency. Use what we have. We're not just going to spend frivolously. Now, whether you're in the league camp of things by saying, this is absolutely the right thing to do, this is the way we have to build, or if you're in the other camp, the camp I'm in is I feel like self-sufficiency is important. This is going to sound like a stupid example. I've used this example before, but just stay with me before you switch off, right? Whenever I play something like Football Manager, Colin will know what I'm talking about, right? I understand that I need to make a certain amount of money in order for me to just be also to ease the pressure, quite frankly, so that the fan and the boards aren't getting twitchy, but also just to pay the damn bills. Wages need to be paid. But I also understand that a balance needs to be met. You need to be able to spend a certain amount of money to get the quality in. You can't be shopping at Lidl. Like, I'll be real with you, yeah? This is a real good example, right? I bought rum the other day, right? And it was supposed to be Captain Morgan's, but I don't really go to Aldi and Lidl. Not rich by any means, but I don't really go. We don't really have them things around here. We have Lidl in Wood Green. That's about it, right? So, but I went in there to buy some rum, right? And I bought something that I thought was Captain Morgan's. I genuinely thought it was Captain Morgan's. And then I bought it home, and I was chilling with a friend and stuff. And then we were both chilling, and we were both having a drink. And he goes, "This ain't Captain Morgan's." And I looked at the bottle, and it was, I think it was like Captain Coco's or something like that. I was like, "What is this?" It was sweeter. It had honey in, but then I'll be honest, it was like £9. Whereas Captain Morgan's is normally like £14, £15. UK people know what the hell I'm talking about when I say Captain Morgan's. Sorry for anyone that ain't in the UK right now, right? So it was like, why does it taste like this? But then in the end, I was just like, you know what? £9 innit? Carry on, downed it. Because the way I see it is, when I shop at Lidl, I have to expect a little product and hope for the best. And Arsenal right now are hoping for the best. They are trying to spend what it is that they have. And as things stand, we're in the Europa League. And short of one game, one single game, maybe, just maybe, we may be able to spend a decent amount of money. Until that is confirmed, we have to stick with Captain Coco's and hope that that shit tastes nice. And that is the situation that we're in. So for me, yeah, I've watched the video and I got annoyed, but then in the end, I was just like, you know what? It's the same old shit that I've heard for years now. You know, it didn't. I don't know why they did the interview. I don't know if the interview was designed to make people feel calmer about the situation. To me, it kind of made me shrug my shoulders a little bit, as I'm sure it did with you guys if you've happened to watch it. But we are where we are. Whether you agree that we should be self-sufficient, whether we should be spending money, I'm in a camp that we should be doing a little bit of both. I just hope that we are able to give the manager the tools he needs to fight next season. Forget targets, just fight next season. Because this season weren't it. We did all right this season, but this season weren't it. I want us to fight next season. And for me, I guess that's the message going from there. Now, another rumor is that Arsenal and Tottenham are being linked with Roma star Cengiz. Mems is going to kill me. Cengiz. Is that his name? That can't be his name. Cengiz. Anyway, it's spelled like that. He is a Roma winger, plays on the left-hand side, very, very young, 22, 23 years old, but very, very talented, technically very good. Funny enough, I just had this conversation with Colin that I'm a little bit worried about attackers in the Italian league and whether they'll be able to adapt into the English Premier League. But this guy is the exception, Colin. I'll be honest, this guy is very, very good. Very quick, very mobile, very expensive, though. They're talking like he's going to be at least in the region of 50 million. I'll be shocked if we pay that. I'll be honest, I'll be shocked. But at the moment, Arsenal are being linked with every single player under the sun. It's just going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. But that's the latest player being linked with Arsenal. Now, because people always tell me I don't interact when I do these live shows, let me go into the chat room and see what you lot are saying real quick before I carry on with my next story, you know, just to see who's about. Got a nice little 70 people watching. Big shout out to the chat room. Please don't forget to absolutely crush the like button. Excuse me, you can hear that. Crush that like button for me. I appreciate it. It really does get the show noticed. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Almost on 4,400 subscribers. Cengiz under. That's the one. That's the one. See, this is why I should look at the chat room more. Big up to everyone in the chat room, man. Big up to everyone in the chat room. Right. I'm going to continue with my stories. Also, let me know if I'm forgetting any stories that you want covered. All right. So, Crystal Palace have set Manchester United and Arsenal a price for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Do you want to know what that price is? No chance we're paying this shit. So, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the price is £60 million. £60 million for Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, we ain't doing that. It's a shame, really, because when we were being linked with him last season, that was the time to get him before anyone knew about him too tough. Now everybody knows about him. Palace have gone silly with the price. And I can see United, because United like spending money like it's confetti. I could just see them doing that. Excellent player. As you guys know, if you've watched my video series, Chig Knows Best, he was one of my top 5, my dream signing. Just because I think he's so good, so athletic, very, very good. Premier League proven. We've got no fucking chance of getting him. Now, This is a name I should be able to pronounce. We're also being linked with Hakim Ziyech, particularly because of what some previous tapes that have come out about the Ajax star, who has scored 21 goals and 24 assists. We're talking about a very exceptional player. Yeah, very, very exceptional player. There was a clip that came up 2 years ago from his interview with Kluivert's son. And Kluivert's son asked him, well, what club would you like to go in the future? And he said his dream was to join Barcelona. Everyone was like, all right, we'll figure. And Arsenal. And everyone was like, hold up. What? And then for some of you Ozil fanboys, you'll love this one. He went, then the further question went, there was a later conversation that then involved Mesut Ozil, and basically asked who the footballing idol was. He said Mesut Ozil. So then Kluivert joked and said, maybe you're better than Mesut Ozil. And then Ziyech said, no, I'm not even close to Ozil's level. You are, mate. You're better. You're better. But I will say this, and even I will admit this as someone that still wants Ozil gone. That is the power of Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil is someone that can be an attracting beam for a lot of these players. 25 million, I think he'll go for a lot higher. I must admit, even though that I know that the 25 million is a clause that is in place, but I feel like it's going to take someone to really get Ajax's attention with that. To me, I think this is a player that wants to actually play for Arsenal, is a good technical player, scores a lot of goals, scores a lot of assists, scores some spectacular goals as well. No fucking brainer to me. Yes, the Turkish lad at Roma that I'm going to stop butchering the name of, I think is also a very, very good player. But this guy, I think, is already made to go. Whereas I think is going to be special, but it may take a couple of years to brew. This guy could be ready to go, ready to slot in. So yeah, I think that would be a good transfer to make. I know people were asking me my opinion on that. So there's my opinion on that one. Also, just to give you further news, because Arsenal have been linked with every single player under the sun, Wilfried Zaha has been told once again that the price to let him go is £80 million. Arsenal have laughed at that, but they have come back with a semi-offer, according to a lot of papers, where they have suggested that Arsenal will give money, add Reece Nelson and Callum Chambers for Wilfried Zaha. Mark my words, Wilfried Zaha, and I've said it before and I say it again, he ain't going nowhere for 80 million. But I could see him potentially leaving for 40 to 50. Would I pay 40 to 50 for Wilfried Zaha when I've just talked about Ziyech? No, I wouldn't. I think Ziyech is better. Even in this league, I think Ziyech could be better. Wilfried Zaha, I don't get it, man. I don't get what people... I agree. I think he's got a better cross than Iwobi, and he's quicker than Iwobi. That's it. Iwobi has the same skills he does. He's just more... The only thing I would say about... In fact, no, he's not even more direct than Iwobi. To me, I'm not that impressed. I never have been, truth be told. I was shocked when Man United bought him. I've never been that impressed with him. Yes, I think he plays well against us because we make the most average of players look good against us. But there's nothing about him that impresses me. Not really. So yeah. And then my dream signings of all dream signings is Lille attacker Nicolas Pepe. Lille have confirmed that the club will be selling Nicolas Pepe this summer. The price tag on his head is 70 million. And this is the point of where Lee makes that I tend to agree. See, initially, I'm I don't often sit on the fence about things, but I saw Lee's show where he was talking about selling Aubameyang. In fact, he talked on my show about that as well. And I must admit, I'm still in the camp of no, because I feel uncomfortable selling someone that scored 30 goals. But he's in the last 2 years of his contract. He's 30 years old. Maybe tempted by a Real Madrid offer. I know Guillaume Balaguer says that Real are interested. If you had to say to me now, though, tell you what, we'll bring him in, let Aubameyang go. I'd do that deal all day long. Just think about this for a second, right? Lacazette's up top. You have Ziyech on the right-hand side. You have Pepe on the left-hand side. Are we really missing Aubameyang that badly? Just let me put that out there for you, for you guys to simmer on that for a second. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like the idea that we'll be losing another striker when arguably we need a striker. And yes, I think we would have to address that. But let that simmer for a second. You've got two goal-scoring midfielders either side of what we know on his day can be a deadly striker. Can you see Aubameyang getting better? I can see Lacazette getting better. Can you see Aubameyang getting better? I'm not so sure. So I'm really sat on the fence. with it. And one of these ones that I'm kind of all right with either way, provided that if we sell Aubameyang, we buy someone like this. Don't fuck around with a phrase of buy a goal-scoring, lethal winner. Because that's what Liverpool have. That's the setup they have. They have two lethal players either side of, quite honestly, not really that lethal of a striker, but he works hard. And Lacazette, we know, works hard. I know people don't like the idea of breaking up the romance, but I'd be tempted. I'll be honest. I'd be tempted. I would be tempted. All right, let's go back into the chat room and see what you guys are saying. 66 of you guys. Does anybody agree with me? Does anyone hate that idea? Let me know. Let me know. Zaha is Iwobi's level. One time. That's what I've said. Lacazette gets injured, then what? That's the thing. That's the thing, Dean. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. It's all about balance, though. That's the thought process behind it. It's about balance. And that's why I'm thinking that. Like I say, I'm not sold on the idea. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should do this. But I get the argument both ways. I really do. I get the argument both ways. Buy a winger that can play as a centre forward. Yeah, I think Pepe could be that. Nobody's questioning that Laka's all-round player is amazing, but he doesn't score a lot. But I think with the support around him, people always bitch about service this, service that. My proposal gives them that service. Zaha's too inconsistent. Agreed. I don't see the fascination with Zaha. I'd rather keep Iwobi. With you, Jermaine. With you. Zaha shit. With you, Omar. I get what you're saying, bro, but that's too risky. It is risky. Like I say, it is risky. I can just see him falling off a cliff in the next 18 months or so. Also, keep in mind, I reiterate, he's in the last 2 years of his deal. If you saw the 17-minute interview that I'm in, all the emphasis was on efficiency and ensuring that things like Alexis Sanchez and Aaron Ramsey doesn't happen again. And I've said for years, when it gets to 2 years of the contract, you offer them the contract. Either they sign it or bounce. So I can see something like that happening. Zaha wins 10 penalties a season. Yeah, but he could collect a lot of yellow cards because he goes down like a feather. Like a feather. We should be keeping both and adding. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not against that idea either, Jermaine. Would you replace Granit Xhaka? Well, we'll find out with the chopping block. Speaking of chopping block, I dropped the chopping block, an hour ago, an hour and a half ago. Surprise, surprise, about Squadron Mustafi. People were annoyed about the music. I re-uploaded it, turned the music down, so it should be there, nice and easy to listen to. So go check that out. But yes, is Xhaka on the chopping block? That's the question. There's 78 people, only 29 likes in here. Please drive those likes up. We won't spend 70 million unless we sell Aubameyang. That's my point. I'm with you, Dan, and that's what I'm suggesting. I'm not altogether convinced the offer is real. But if Real Madrid came in and went 75 mil for Aubameyang, right? Initially, I was like, yeah. Then, I'll be honest, I was like, no. And now I'm like, shit, I actually don't really care. Like, either way, I'd be happy either way, as long as we reinvested all of that into a goal-scoring winner, so that the balance is there. Sell Uber for 90 million, replace Mustafi, replace Xhaka, replace Ozil, replace Mkhitaryan. Marquez, you're my new favorite person. Let me tell you. That sounds like a plan to me. It's probably a lot harder to do than say. I will say that, though. Take me 2 decades back by selling Aubameyang. You think so? I think he's that integral to us. Okay. I'd replace Xhaka. I would drive him back to Germany. Should Uber be left, middle, Pepe right? Yeah. I think Pepe can play both wings, can't he? He's a left footer, but he's comfortable on both wings. In fact, I think he usually plays on the right for Lille, but I have seen him a few times run down that left-hand side. No, it's the Coutinho situation. Yeah, and look how that worked out for Liverpool. They're in a Champions League final, and let's be real, a miracle got City that Premier League. Look how that worked out for them. That's how you do. That's how you reinvest that shit into assets. Listen, people think I hate Aubameyang. I really don't. I like Aubameyang. And it just sounds like I'm repeating what Lee says. But Lee don't often make points I agree with. He don't. He really does not. But when I really sit there and think about it, it makes sense, you know. I'm not comfortable with it. But it makes sense, especially if you don't sign that contract. That's the problem. I don't trust them to do something intelligent. Yeah, and that's a fair point, Matthew. That is a fair point. It is about trust. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't trust this Motley lot either. Yeah, Chelsea, I'm with you. He was supposed to be really good. I only saw him play a couple of times, and he played well whenever I saw him. I'm with you, Chelsea. We were crying out for a striker last decades. Now we want to sell him. I know. Listen, Ibrahim, I'm not quite sold on the idea. I'm not. I'm just seeing the benefits that it could do. You know, I'm sure Liverpool fans, there were a lot of Liverpool fans that were like, sell Coutinho. No, we can't do that. And you saw the way they reinvested that cash. Provided we can reinvest it. You're talking about a 30 goal striker, yes, who's 30 years old, who goes to a lot of games, who hasn't signed a new contract and will be half the value this time next year, when I imagine a lot of you will be saying sell him. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Sadly, yeah. Man, Arsenal, they'll get 70 mil for Uber. So, do you know what I mean, Rich? I'm with you, Rich. They will so do that. They will so do that. Would you take Gareth Bale? No chance. Would have done a couple of years ago. Not because he's not quality. The guy's too injury prone. Too injury. It's the same reason that I wouldn't take Umtiti from Barcelona. Not that I'm saying he's injury prone, but he has suffered a couple of big injuries in the last couple of years. The last thing we need is another one of those. So no, I wouldn't. Bould is responsible for our poor defense. Maybe there is a correlation there. So I want to see if he goes, whether that will improve. Martin Sheridan, like he would sign for Arsenal. Well, get Champions League. That's the first part of that. Don't get me wrong. That's the first part. Everything I'm talking about, that's the first part of that. Would you take Jonathan Tah? Yes, I do like Jonathan Tah. I do like Jonathan Tah. Good player. We paid a lot for Uber, and we can get even more back for an older player. They're literally blaming Bould now. I know, right? Kelechi versus DT. It's about 8th time you said that, mate. I get it. I've seen the beef. I don't really care, but if it comes to backing it, Kelechi all day. Keeping Uber, Sal, Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Xhaka. By Dunk, you know I'm with that. By Decore, you know I'm with that. By Madison, you know I'm with that. Bon Zaha, though. Marquez, you had me. You had me. You were my guy. And then you said Zaha. Yes, said Zaha. We should go for Wolves players. They'll be so expensive, Bruce. So expensive. Would you take Don Robbie at Arsenal? If I get a Chig, you're a Don Robbie joke, I tell you, I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. Would you take Rashford? No, don't rate him. Don't rate him, Arsenal fan. Oh, overrate Prem talent too highly. I don't overrate them too highly, but there is value to having proven Premier League players or playing in the Premier League. Get Jota. I love Jota. I would love him as a backup striker to Lacazette. I think he's that good. Sorry, Chick. Don't worry, Marquez. You're still my guy. Oh, no, not Lingard. Come on. Marquez, come on. Oh, see, I should have known that when this guy kept repeating the same shit, he was a dickhead. So that's all right, though. Mute is my friend, right? Mute is my friend. Madison, Fraser, Decore, Dunk. I'm with you. Let's get Cavani. Maybe a few years ago, Tony. Would you take De Gea back up to Leno? Oh, you ain't serious. Yeah, Rashford's been overrated. Tony, no chance. Would you take Deulofeu? Nope. I never rated him. Even when he played for Everton, never rated him. I know we like big signings, but we could take good players from mid-table English clubs. Yeah, that's the market we're in. That is the market we're in. I agree with you, Matthew. That's the market we're in. Deulofeu is too selfish. Yeah, the only guy I would take from Man United is Bailey. I like Bailey. I'd have De Gea, to be fair. I would have De Gea. I know he's had a terrible season, but come on now. Would you take Origi? No. I know he's played well for Liverpool recently, but no. What do you think of Derby? What do you think of Torreira as Derby, as Chelsea are looking to over? I'm going to lie to you, Arsenal General. I haven't got a Scooby who that is. I'm going to be fucking real with you. I will tell you about people I know. I don't know who that is. I can't even picture him. We should sign Akim Ziyech. Yep, I'm with you, Ghost Killer. Manolas deal will happen. Do you like Monalas? I'm convinced, you know. I hope he's good. I hope he's good. I hope he is. Truth be told, I've not watched nearly enough of his games, but the couple that I have watched, I wasn't overly enthused. But let's see. Would you take Jack Grealish? No, I would not. Colo Torre. How much do you know about the Argentine defender we're about to sign? I know he's a decent enough player. He's a bit of a Socrates type. Whether you need two Socrates in a team is another question. Swansea has great home run defender in Joe Rodon as well. Okay. I like the idea of homegrown. We need homegrown. No, VP. Would you sell the superstar if it meant signing? I'd sell him anyway, Edward. I'd sell him anyway. Spoiler alert for my chopping block, I guess. Spoiler alert. Would you take Gaya from Everton's backup DM? Backup DM? You're going to be starting DM. I love him. I think he's a good player. And I actually think that it will allow Torreira to express himself a bit better. We could do with some size in our team. And I think De Gea is the way to do it because he's not tremendously tall, but he's a unit. I would sell the Emirates if it meant signing to Ligt. I can see why Lee does these, you know. I'm enjoying this. I don't interact with you guys enough. Sign Trent Alexander. Oh, yeah, because they're going to sell him, aren't they? Fekir Ozil. Oh, Arsenal fan. I love Fekir. Gonna lie. I don't think that will ever happen, but that would be the ideal situation. Particularly if you didn't want to rock the boat with Laka and you wanted to bring another one of his buddies on board. If you sold Uber, that's the way to do it. Would you take... Oh, that's an interesting question. Do you know what, Lord Berus? Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't see that. No, I wouldn't. Would you say... No, I wouldn't, Ghost Killer. I literally just said that. He's too injury prone. Or, yeah, let me change that. He suffered a couple of big injuries. I want to see if he's fit first. But it's clear that Barcelona are going to sell him now that they've signed De Ligt, or they're about to sign De Ligt. Yeah, I'm with you, IDK. Would you take Fekir? Yep, Omar in a heartbeat. Fekir all day, as Rich would say. Just imagine this. This is what I'm trying to say, people. Come on. Just imagine this team. Imagine this four. Lacazette up top. Pepe on the let's say on the right hand. Let's say on the left hand side. Ziyech, Hakim Ziyech on the right hand side. Fekir just behind that. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Come on. We may not be able to defend well, but we'll outscore motherfuckers, let me tell you. Oh, big shout out to Ryan. I didn't realize it was your birthday, mate. Happy birthday, brother. Big friend of the show, Mr. Arsenal Podcast. Go and give him a subscribe and say I sent you. Fekir or Isco? So I heard Lee answer a similar question today, and I couldn't agree more. I love Isco. Have done for about 4 or 5 years. Rate the player very, very highly. I've wanted him to replace Ramsey for years, truth be told, Jermaine. But I'd had Fekir. I love Fekir, man. I love Fekir. He is up there when it comes to dream signings for me. But again, it has to be noted, may have a dodgy knee. I mean, I know people laugh at Liverpool for coming out of that deal, but there something clearly spooked him. So it does worry me a little bit that. What about David Brooks? Yeah, I like him. I ain't gonna lie, Lee put me on that guy. Wasn't too sure about him initially, but then I started watching him when I was watching Fraser, and very, very good actually. Very calm, composed for someone so young. I like him, Matthew. I like him. Do you think Eddie should go out on loan or stay? Depends if we bring on a strike. If we bring a striker, if we have no strikers, Edward, we might need to keep him. But the initial gut says, yeah, we need to loan him. He needs to be playing games. Oh gosh, scroll too far now. That's my wet dream. Say I'm with you. Boots, I hope you're still doing your admin thing. Any little stupid abusers, just boot them out. I don't even have time for that. Mustafi Kolasinac at the back. I'm with you, Ibrahim, but I'd be planning to get rid of at least one of those guys. Would I keep Kolasinac? Now that is a chopping block question. Don't ask me stuff about who I'd keep. Who I'd buy, I'd answer, but who I'd keep, that's chopping block territory. I can't spoil my surprises. The problem is that Pepe has only done it for one season, still high risk at the moment. Yeah. And to be honest with you, Rich, to be honest, I wouldn't go over a certain amount for Pepe, but I think they're talking in the region of 43 million. He'll go for way more than that. But I think anything up to about 55, I don't think is crazy for him. I really don't. He's still young as well. He's 22. That kid is only going to get better. Isco is mad sick. I know he is. He's brilliant. But Fekir, man, I ain't going to lie. I would love him. I was proper upset last season when I thought Liverpool were going to get him. Is there in Premier League proven players that you like Arsenal to sign? Ryan, Lewis Dunk for me, Ryan. I know we're being linked with every continental defender under the sun, but we also need a big unit. I think that's a lot of our problem. We are very poor aerially, and I think Lewis Dunk would be a good solution to that. So yeah, Lewis Dunk will be my guy for that. Eddie needs to adapt to the wing. Chelsea, I think he needs to do a little bit of everything. Everything. I've said it before and I say it again. I think players need to play more than just one position. And yeah, I think he needs to do a little bit of all of it. VP, would you take? Chig, would you take Klein? That's an interesting question. I used to rate him when he played for Southampton. Not so much now. No, I wouldn't. Cesar, no, Ntiti or Dembele ballers, but Premier League is no place for injury-prone players. Yeah, well said, Cesar. Well said. What's your take on Julian Brandt? Love him. Love him. Maybe might be in a future video of mine. Just saying. Thoughts on Christian Pavon? I really wanted him initially. I must admit, I've cooled off on him a little bit. I wasn't that impressed with the World Cup. The World Cup put me off, I'll be honest. You know, and bear in mind, I watched him closely. They were in Argentina, were in Nigeria's group. So I had to pay attention to Argentina. And I weren't that impressed. I'll be real. Oh, bro, this chat is too good. Let the Spanish trolls ruin. Well done, Boots. What are you making of the media trying to pass the Community Shield off as a major trophy suddenly to give City a domestic quadruple? the media, isn't it? It's the media. Because they damn sure wouldn't be doing that if it was Arsenal. Just a reminder, 97 people, 48 likes. Something is wrong there. Please, 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 people. Drive that up. I want way past 100 likes. You guys kindly did that for me yesterday. I appreciate it. Thank you. One more time. One more time. I hope Emery builds a team in a diamond. I don't want to see Uber on a win next season. With you, Chelsea. Fekir or Meso? I'm guessing you mean Messi. Come on now. You should know. You should know. I'm not even going to answer because you should know. Robbie, stop begging for likes. I'll tell you what, Robbie. Hold on. One second, bro. I've got this amazing opportunity for you. It's a VIP, all expenses paid to the block party. Please have a drink on me and let me know how that area is. Dickhead. This is YouTube. What do you think happens on YouTube? People need likes. Shut the fuck up. Honestly, I ain't got time for this. I am all about the block. I'll just decide it. I'm too old for nonsense. For YouTubers that for YouTube commenters that want to say shit to your face, but they feel like, oh, they're gonna get brave on here. Dream signing will be Kai Havertz. Yeah, it's a lot of people dream signing. I must admit, it's a lot of people's. Defender, Kahneman, Jamero was quality. Oh, Kahneman from Jamero. Let's see. Let's see. I think he's good, but he has concentration problems. He does have concentration issues. Wow, my man Will Graham. Big up, Will. Might be a good brother. We can't afford Fekir. Oh, don't I know it, Lord Barris? Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about, if we made some sales here and there, selling Uber maybe, getting into the Champions League, hoping that the reports are right and the budget goes up to 100 mil. And this is dream world stuff we're talking about. Yes, Ryan. Congratulations to Lee Gunner for the Brighton job. To be fair, Ryan, Lee's always been first at saying that he does look like my man. He's the first to ridicule himself when it comes to that. So it's no fun when you ridicule yourself. Crazy trolls, I know. I know. And I've seen that Robbie guy around before, but I just thought to myself, this dickhead, what do you think people do? They need likes. It's a YouTube. Boots, I would love us to go for Mahrez, if for nothing else, to see Lee Gunner absolutely his brain to combust at the idea that Mahrez has come on board. And then for him to turn into a Mahrez fanboy would be amazing. Because he already is one. To be fair to him, he admits he is one. But yeah, good player, excellent player. And I agree, we should have gone for him in the first place. The problem is, we should have gone for him in the first place. And now we're playing catch up as per. All right. I am literally going to do 7 more minutes of this. And I ain't going to extend it. 10 o'clock and I'm out. Rabiot is still to be snapped up. You know what, Khaled? And I said this in my central midfielder review. Go and watch it if you haven't had an opportunity to watch it. Excellent player. Excellent player. Attitude stinks. Oh my gosh. I'm not talking about, oh, well, apparently Uber's attitude stunk. So what's to say that Rabiot, no, his attitude is terrible. There's a reason why Barcelona were negotiating with him, and then we're like, nah. So, you gotta keep in mind the guy is free and no one has made a deal with him and hasn't made a deal with him for a while. There's maybe reasons for that. Excellent player though. I can't just for player wise quality, excellent. But I ain't for that prima donna shit. I'll be real. Mustafi will still be there at August. Tony, bite your tongue, God forbid. What about going for Mahrez? Yeah, I answered that. I'm not sure if you can win in the Champions League stage. Oh, that's an interesting question. If you win Europa, who would you like to draw in the Champions League group stage? Anyone but Barca or Bayern would be nice, just for fresh opponents. But to be honest, I know this is going to sound like such a pussy answer. I know. It'd just be nice to be there and be part of it and know that we're earning that money again. It's been 2 years, yo. Been a long 2 years. Look at Edward. Big Jenko. Nah, he's off. Let's be real. He's off. Who would you prefer? Who would you prefer, Pepe or Zaha? Come on, people. Come on. That's like asking me what would I prefer, a blowjob or to stub my toe? Come on. Would you be open to Arsenal possibly giving Tony Adams a role at the club or no? I would like Sol on board. I think Sol has proved with the Macclesfield job, unbelievably, Frank Lampard could roll into a Derby job. Steven Gerrard could roll into a Rangers job, but Sol Campbell has to go literally to the bottom of the league, the footballing league for a job. I think that is insane. But he's proved with that job that he clearly has something about him. And I wouldn't mind seeing him as part of the coaching team. I wouldn't mind it. I would not. I'd be all right with it. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't want too many legends as part of the coaching setup because then it turns into United's current situation. I don't think that's good either. But couple of legends around the club, I'm all for it. Let him bang 20 goals next and then link us to him. Yeah, he really did, Ryan. He really did. And I'm happy for him. Are you the West Wing on your mansion chicks? You know what? I'm sure that's an insult somehow, but I liked it. It was at least clever. So I'll give you that. Why is I'll say, yeah, buddy. You think I didn't see you earlier, Mr. I'm gonna leave your chopping block. Because I can't hear you. You're back now, are you? Yes, to answer your question, so the rumours. Do you know what? Watch this on the playback, brother. Flipping it. But yes, there are rumours that Emre is trying to move on Steve Bould. Yeah. Wait, is Steve Bould leaving? Not imminently, but there are rumours. Brother, are people just reading the title now? What's going on? All right, people. 2 more minutes and I'm out. No, the music ain't gone nowhere, motherfucker. All right, it's just turned a bit lower. Got love for you, yeah, buddy, but I'm get cheeky with it. Do you think it's a good idea playing the warm-up game, Chig? What do you mean, Will? Expand on that. I'm slow today. It's probably obvious, but I'm slow today. No, coaching. Let's not get carried away, Ryan. Let's not get carried away. Coaching. I'm with you. Yeah, I do. I think Arsenal are historically terrible when we're going into anything cold, i.e., we're not sharp, we've had too much of a rest. I actually think it's an inspired idea. I hope it's intense for them. Yes, I know people will say, yeah, but you're risking injury. But no, I think match sharpness is important. Play a competitive match. I say competitive, a competitive, friendly match, and then see what happens. I'm all for that. So yeah, I like it. Sorry, Will. I told you I was slow today. I was slow today. It's 10 o'clock. It's been a long day. We're doomed if we won't win the Europa. The pressure's on, Lord Barris. It's all on the line. And Arsenal, when it comes to pressure, when it comes to rest, we don't perform well. So we're up against it right now. Chick is sounding like Lou, 2 more minutes. Nah, it's 10 o'clock. I'm out now, people. Thank you so much for watching. The 88 people that are still watching. Please, let's annoy whoever that Robbie person was by driving up those like buttons. Likes is very, very important to any YouTuber. So please do hit that like button because it does 2 things. It lets me know that you liked me interacting with you guys. I'm gonna lie, straight stole that idea from Lee. I'll be real. I was just gonna do the video and then I was out. But no, I can see that it's actually pretty enjoyable. Minus a couple of idiots out there, but that's what the block party's for. So I'm glad that you guys at least seem to be liking the interaction with you. And yeah, please don't forget, once you hit the like button, of course, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll be back tomorrow to do another one of these. Not necessarily. I don't know if I'll interact because I always feel a bit self-conscious when I'm by myself interacting with you guys. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm going to do another Eagle Eye show though. I'll get that out. And I'll be back every day this week with something. Every day with something. So do keep an eye out on that. And yeah, just keep an eye on that. And also don't forget my chopping block, which I literally dropped earlier today. You've seen that I put playlists together. Just go to Chopping Block Summer 2019. You'll be able to pick that up. That's pretty much it, people. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Emre in. Let's do it for Lee. And peace.